There is a rift, and I think that is an understatement of a word, a rift between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively. Taylor feels like she's been used.
There's certain things that that we know Blake has said about Taylor in reference to that battle that do not sit well with Taylor at all. The big one, dragons.
Yeah.
She wrote, "If you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi. And like her, I happen to have a few dragons. For better or worse, but usually for better."
Imagine two of Hollywood's biggest stars, once so tight they seemed untouchable, now tangled in a fallout so wild it's hard to believe. Taylor Swift and Blake Lively's friendship was a fan-favorite fairy tale, but whispers of betrayal and a messy lawsuit have flipped the script. It all ties back to Blake's film It Ends With Us, where legal chaos pulled Taylor in against her will. Did Blake use her bestie as a weapon, or is Taylor overreacting? Buckle up, because this story's got more twists than a Taylor breakup song.
When we're dealing with a work setting and somebody is the person who is running the movie, it's their project. I'm like, I've got little monsters, little dragons, and their names are Taylor Swift. I don't often use them, but if you give me what I want, yes, exactly what I want, they are not going to figuratively blow fire on your head.
Going on to write, Mr. Baldoni acknowledged the complaints in writing at the time.
Their bond kicked off in 2015, and it was pure Hollywood gold. Taylor and Blake were inseparable. Think red carpets, 4th of July bashes at Taylor's Rhode Island mansion, and cozy dinners that screamed BFF goals. Blake directed Taylor's I Bet You Think About Me video, snagging an award nod, while Taylor name-dropped Blake's kids, James, Inez, and Betty, in her song Betty. She even became their godmother, with Ryan Reynolds jokingly dubbed the sperm donor in Taylor's playful posts. For nearly a decade, they were the real deal. Or so we thought, but even the tightest crews can unravel when drama hits hard.
Saying that he had inappropriately asked her trainer about her weight because he had a bad back and there was a scene where he had to lift her up. First about Justin to TMZ. She was postpartum, so she was very offended by this. Now, Baldoni was a director of the movie, one of the directors on the movie, and he obviously therefore wanted the movie to be a success.
Trouble started simmering in 2023 on the set of It Ends With Us, Blake's big screen take on Colleen Hoover's hit novel. She starred alongside Justin Baldoni, who also directed, and at first, it looked like a dream gig. Then came the rumors, whispers of clashes, creative control fights, and tension thick enough to cut. Fans noticed Blake and Baldoni dodging each other at premieres, hinting something was seriously off. Turns out, those quiet grumbles were just the calm before a legal storm that'd drag everyone down with it.
And the studio company also, therefore, wanted it to be a success, and they're seeing these articles leak, and they made a move to hire a crisis management team.
I think that the Justin and Blake stuff is, I think it's a big PR game, and I think that we're all the pawns of it. And also that story I gave you, that's one where I've talked to them. I feel comfortable sharing that much.
By December 2024, that storm hit full force. Blake sued Baldoni, accusing him of sexual harassment and tanking her rep with a smear campaign. She claimed he crossed lines on set, like asking her trainer about her postpartum weight before a lift scene, citing his bad back. Baldoni didn't just take it. He clapped back with a $400 million defamation suit, alleging Blake and Ryan tried to hijack his movie. He painted her as a control freak, rewriting scenes and strong-arming him into compliance. It's a nasty, headline-grabbing war, and somehow Taylor Swift's name got caught in the crossfire.
Part of the point that Justin's team is making in kind of complying with what they're viewing as threats made on her behalf against Justin is like, well, there's this financial consequence to everything in addition to the strike consequences too, right? So they filmed May to June, then shut down for the strike, and then they were down until January. But I think that the strike lifted in November, but then she had all these return to work.
Here's where it gets juicy. Baldoni's lawsuit claims Blake flexed her A-list muscle to get her way, name-dropping her mega celebrity friend, yep, Taylor, and Ryan as her backup. One bombshell? Blake allegedly rewrote a key rooftop scene and showed it off at her penthouse, with Taylor and Ryan there cheering her on. In a text, she called herself Khaleesi from Game of Thrones and dubbed them her dragons. A power move Baldoni says was pure intimidation. Taylor, though, she wasn't here for it. Her name splashed across legal docs wasn't part of the plan, and she felt blindsided, big time.
He told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully.
That dragons line? It was the match that lit the fuse. Taylor's all about loyalty, but she's also fiercely protective of her image. Being cast as Blake's attack dog in a lawsuit she never signed up for didn't sit right. Insiders say she was livid, feeling like Blake exploited their friendship to flex on Baldoni. A Daily Mail source spilled that Taylor's taking a step back, done with being a pawn in this mess. Hollywood's drama mill loves a good rift, and this one's got all the makings of a friendship on the rocks.
That Justin Baldoni, ultimately, by the time they got to the premiere, was mandated by Blake Lively to spend the night in the basement.
Justin says that Blake was determined to make him the real-life villain in her story because she wasn't doing well on the promo tour for the movie. It was very tone-deaf. Her hair care line wasn't doing well. She was trying to sell booze while talking about domestic violence.
The signs were there if you looked close. Taylor, who's quick to hype her pals' projects, went radio silent on It Ends With Us. No Instagram love, no shoutouts, nada. Compare that to her gushing over Ryan's Deadpool or Spirited, and it's glaring. Then there's the Super Bowl snub. In 2024, Blake was front and center in Taylor's suite, cheering the Chiefs. Fast forward to 2025, and she's a no-show. Fans clocked it instantly. Something's up, and it's not subtle.
Justin says the war between himself and Blake really started in May 2023 when they started shooting the movie. He claims that she was organizing a takeover strategy.
Blake Lively is speaking out for the first time, and she's talking about her SNL appearance, and it is complete delusion. She really thought that this would be her chance to step back into the spotlight.
Blake, meanwhile, isn't taking this lying down. She's leaned into her Game of Thrones vibe, doubling down on the Khaleesi bit in chats about the feud. "I've got little dragons," she reportedly told Baldoni, and their names are Taylor and Ryan. She framed it as a flex. If he didn't play ball, her star-studded squad would step in, but losing Taylor's thrown her for a loop. Sources say she's gutted, never expecting her bestie to bail. To Blake, those dragons were her strength. To Taylor, they were a leash she didn't agree to wear.
What Blake says, a conversation that she heard had taken place with Steve Sarowitz. Steve Sarowitz is the head of Wayfair Studios. He is the co-founder of Wayfair Studios, along with Justin.
Zoom out, and it's not just Taylor pulling away. Blake and Ryan, Hollywood's golden couple, are catching heat. Insiders whisper they've been pushing their weight around for years, and this lawsuit's exposing cracks. Baldoni's team claims they tried to bury him, and other celebs are quietly stepping back. Social media unfollows, awkward silences at events. It's like the industry's hitting pause on the power duo. With Taylor out, their circle's shrinking, and the backlash is getting loud.
And she says in this lawsuit that, and is it interesting? She says, "This is what I heard," he said, but it's presented as a quote in the lawsuit.
I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence.
The internet's eating this up, and fans are split down the middle. Team Taylor says she's smart to dodge the chaos. Why risk her pristine rep for Blake's mess? Team Blake argues she's been abandoned when she needed support most, especially if her harassment claims hold water. X lights up with takes. Taylor's too cold, Blake's too shady. Everyone's got an opinion. It's a loyalty debate with no clear winner, and the drama's only heating up.
When she filed her complaint, not under the influence of drugs, not under the influence of alcohol, but of the influence of proximity to Taylor Swift.
Had there been these horrible things, and had there been these horrible text messages, had there been this horrible information, that stuff would have been put out there too.
And that dragons line? It's a meme goldmine now. Fans are churning out edits. Taylor as a fire-breathing beast, Blake writing in like Daenerys. "Summoning my dragons to fix my movie" captions are everywhere. It's dark humor cutting through the tension, but it's also a reminder this rift's gone viral. Even the jokes can't hide the sting of a friendship imploding so publicly.
that she became uncomfortable with Justin Baldoni yesterday while she was filming. She states that Mr. Baldoni put his bare hands on her backside and said that he was trying to help her with her posture. Complainant immediately voiced her displeasure with being touched on an intimate part of her body.
Taylor's no stranger to dodging scandals, and this move's pure strategy. She's built an empire on staying above the fray, private, polished, untouchable. Getting tied to a lawsuit, even by proxy, isn't her brand. Walking away from Blake wasn't just personal, it was a power play to keep her image spotless. She's out there making music and packing stadiums, while Blake's stuck in the mud. Harsh? Maybe. But in Hollywood, survival trumps sentimentality every time.
Now that the footage has been released for everyone to see. So what they're saying is, now that, Justin Baldoni shared the truth of what it looks like, they're no longer making the same claims. In Blake's first amended complaint, Blake changed what she alleges about what happened while filming the slow dance scene.
Blake's not faring as well. The lawsuit's a slog. Baldoni's dug in, and leaks like his set footage are poking holes in her story. Then there's her promo flub, hawking booze while dodging the film's domestic violence themes. Critics called it tone deaf. Fans called it a disaster. With Taylor gone and Hollywood whispering, she's fighting on multiple fronts. It's a steep fall for someone who once had the industry in her corner.
Previously, they said Miss Lively was filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Of course, Justin proved there was sound.
I defend Justin Baldoni in this lawsuit with Blake Lively because I think she's horrible and she's made up this whole thing because she tried to steal his movie.
So, can they fix this? Some hope a heart-to-heart could mend it. After all, a decade's worth of memories doesn't vanish overnight. Others say the damage is done. Blake's dragon stunt crossed a line, and Taylor's not one to forgive public betrayal easily. In a town where alliances shift like sand, this could be the end of an era, or just another chapter in their saga. Either way, it's a front-row seat to friendship's fragility under fame's glare.
But he is the most overly feminized man I've had to endure in recent history. And then she continued. She took that stiletto and stuck it in his heart when he was down there self-flagellating, being so sorry for anything having to do with his testosterone.
Here's the bottom line. Taylor Swift and Blake Lively's bond was a Hollywood dream until a legal nightmare tore it apart. From godmother giggles to dragon daggers, it's a roller coaster that's left fans reeling and the industry buzzing. Will they bury the hatchet, or is this goodbye for good? Fame's a brutal spotlight. It builds you up, then burns you down. Stick around, hit that like button, and subscribe, because this drama's far from over. What's your take? Team Taylor or Team Blake? Let's hear it.
Understand it. They're sort of radioactive. In one breath, Blake Lively is saying she was the subject of serious harassment during the filming of It Ends With Us, and now they're making light of it on SNL's 50th reunion show. So tonally, it does seem off, and I can imagine people just wanting to stay away from it. You're going to catch shrapnel if you get involved in this drama at this point.
Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. And then she wanted to ixnayed all of the wardrobe choices, because when you're making a movie about a poor woman who's suffering from domestic violence, you want her to look like she has money.
Right.
That Blake said.